Now, through the miracles of modern technology, zany worldwide banner featuring Tom, Michelle, and Jim in an on-topic, off-topic free-for-all. Welcome to the Gun Talk After Show.
It's the after show where we do all sorts of things here. We have kicked Michelle to the curb. Well, not really. She had something else she had to do. So we've got Jim and Tom and Tom. Hey, guys.
What's going on?
All right. We're having some fun. It was a fun show today,
It was a
wasn't
good
it?
show. It was. It was pretty diverse.
Yeah, diverse. That means a lot of different things, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
I looked it up. I went to dictionary.com. I checked that out. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff. This is a fun time. I do like the Olympics. I like the whole thing. I thought the opening was boring and a little bit preachy on the whole global warming thing. I don't know if you watched any of it. Did you guys watch the opening?
No, didn't see that.
Good. I've saved you from that then. You don't have to go back and watch the recorded version unless you just want to feel guilty, because I'm responsible for global warming.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Said the guy flying in on the private jet.
Yes, exactly. Guy using up 47 billion carbon points or whatever it was. I don't know, something like that. Holy
so,
cow.
what do you prefer? Do you prefer Arkansas or do you prefer what's the other one here?
Oklahoma?
We're looking at Oklahoma, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to start a border war. Let's go with that one. By the time we're done, both of them will be building a wall.
There you go.
Let's not do that. Let's go pick up Russ. He's in Claremore, Oklahoma. And, Russ, you want to talk about hunting hogs. What are you doing here, man?
Well, I recently picked up a 308 Winchester, a Kalashnikov with a 24-inch barrel on it, and I'm after some feral hogs. I would like to know if you would happen to know this, the effective kill range, drop range of that particular round with that barrel on it, because I'm getting more interested in long distance shooting.
Okay, so go back and kind of dropped out when you said, what kind of rifle do you have?
A Kalashnikov.
A Kalashnikov, like an AK?
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm not really sure. I just recently picked it up from a friend. Not really sure the actual style of it.
Okay, so are you sure it's a 308 Winchester?
Yes, it stands right on the barrel. 308 Winchester.
Okay, so all right, so it's not a 7.62 by 39 Kalashnikov round.
No, 7.62 by 5.1.
Gotcha. Okay, 308 Winchester. Okay, the 308 Winchester is a great cartridge. I killed my first deer with one in 1962. So yeah, I'm real familiar with it. Here's the thing. That cartridge is good out to an easy 600 yards. If the shooter and the rifle is adequate for it. It's really, as much as anything, the real critical part is not the barrel length. That doesn't make much difference. Is it accurate? And what bullet are you firing in it? So the accurate part is between you, your rifle, and your scope. But the bullet part is critical because there are a lot of match rounds out there, and they're accurate, but they would be terrible for hunting because they don't expand. That's not what they're supposed to do. So you want a hunting bullet when you're going to hunt hogs, because you're looking at hogs can be anywhere from 70 pounds to 400 pounds. What ammo are you shooting at it now, do you know?
Well, right now I'm just taking them to the range, getting the feel for it, and I'm shooting the Winchester Partitioner.
Partition? All right, if you're shooting, is it partition bullets?
Remington, I'm sorry. Remington.
Yeah, if it's they're using Nosler partition bullets. That's a really good bullet for hunting. It's a very expensive bullet to be shooting holes in paper with. It's a great bullet for hunting, but it would not be what I would use just to go out to the range and shoot, bullet holes in paper. But hold on to that. That's a great hog round. Those will work really well. You can buy inexpensive 308 ammo out there. I would avoid the steel-cased ammo. It sometimes has lacquer on it. It can gum up your gun and all. But you're just going to have a bunch of fun with that. That's 308 is very versatile. You can get loads from 110 grain up to 200 grain bullets and all sorts of different bullet designs. So, and that's what gives you the versatility. You'll have a bunch of fun with that.
Okay. As far as scopes, I've been looking at a 6.24 by 40 I haven't mounted. I'm just in the shopping phase of purchasing the scope. Would that be a pretty good match for that gun?
No, it would not. A 6 to 24 is way too much magnification for that. What's the distance you think you'll be shooting?
Probably uppers 300-400 yards.
Okay. I would probably be looking at something like a 3 to 9 in that ballpark. Maybe 3 to 10. Here's the thing. You're liable to end up shooting something at 20 yards, and for that, the 6-power scope's really going to handicap you. That's where keeping it low on 3-power is going to be the trick. And it's not difficult in the slightest to hit hogs at 400 yards with a 9-power scope.
All right. Tell you what, that saves me some money right there.
That's right. Buy better quality, get a little bit less power in your scope, and then buy as much quality as you can get in your scope. Spend a good bit more on your scope than you did on the rifle, more than likely. Okay.
So it does have the capability of maybe 600 yards?
Well, it does. I mean, I'm not going to be shooting any hogs at 600 yards. I mean, I like 60 yards is a much better range to shoot hogs, frankly.
Right. Right.
But yeah, people shoot targets at 600 yards. I would not shoot at critters at 600 yards, even at hog, because you are about 10 times more likely to injure it and not kill it than you are to make a good, clean killing shot. And even a hog, even if it's a feral hog, you still owe it to not let it suffer. You want to make good hits, and there are not 1 in 500 people who can make hits on hogs at 500 or 600 yards. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm kind of getting tired of shooting the 50, 60, 70 yards. I'm wanting to reach out further out, make it a little bit more challenging for myself.
Sure.
But I am after what like you said, the clean kill.
Yeah, and I think what you're going to find is 300 yards is a long shot. You'll hear, almost without fail, all your buddies who say they're making 600-yard shots on hogs are making 300-yard shots on hogs. That's the reality of it. You don't call them on it. It's a gentleman's deal. You go, yep. Well, here's a line for you. You go, man, that's some shot. That's another way of saying, oh, that's a bunch of bull. But you could just say it nicely and say, hey, that's some shot.
Yeah, let's go fishing.
Okay. All right.
Look, you're going to have a bunch of fun. Hunting hogs is great. You can eat them. You're doing the landowners a bunch of favors. And then once you get into it for a while, you're going to want a different rifle. And that's okay, too. Nothing wrong with that. Listen, Russ, I appreciate it. I got to keep moving here because I got Marty that's been on hold for a while. Hey, on 3. Hey, Marty in Mount Pleasant, Arkansas. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing fine, Tom. How are you?
I'm great. What you looking for?
I'm dealing with an old, well-known old gun, it's commonly known as the 7mm Malice, 7 of the 57.
Right.
It's in a 98 Offenhauser, and
cool.
I'm sure you know these guns and know them well.
Yeah, love the caliber too. It's also called a 275 Rigby by people who are really in the know. So yeah, that's a great cartridge.
Yeah, this ain't the first one I've fooled with over the years. But usually you get your hands on one and the riflings are shot out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know the story on this gun because it's evidently been shot very little. It's a 500-yard match striker.
Wow.
I mean,
okay.
Seriously accurate. Thing of it is, my eyesight is failing me, and I've got to where I can't shoot open-sided, especially with those kind of ranges.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, getting a scope on one of these guns is pretty major, pretty tedious, aggravating operation.
Yeah, that's when you need a real gunsmith, and that's, drilling and tapping and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask you if, with all the new types of laser optics and just optics in general, is there something that you know of that would be easier to mount for that gun somehow than the old drill and tap method? No,
because there's no way to attach it. You got to drill and tap so you can have some place to put them out. Otherwise, there's nothing on there that I'm aware. Now, I mean, there may be something where you take the rear sight off or something, but I don't know of that. But here's the thing. If you find a decent gunsmith, you want one that has gray hair. I mean, that's the deal. You want somebody who has gray hair, who knows what a Mauser 98 is, who knows what you're talking about, and has drilled and tapped guns before, and can get it straight and make sure this thing is that's the whole thing. Once it's done, it's done. You can buy mounts for it. You're good to go, and you can put a scope on it. Shouldn't be a big deal to find a gunsmith that can take care of that for you.
I have found a couple of people that have, but they're sick of them. They don't want to fool with them no more. But
there you go. That used to be the bread and butter for gunsmiths because everybody brought in their military guns and had them sporterized, and they would drill and tap and all that. Now, it's probably been 30 years since a lot of gunsmiths have done anything like that. I mean, basically, it's just not what they do. So I know what you're talking about. They say, I'm just tired of that. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah. This gun is painfully original. I mean, it's 6 foot long, and you know where they are. And I really don't want to disturb its originality even when I have to. And that's not for retail purposes. That's because of the way I like it.
And I get that, and you're stuck in that place where you can leave it original, and it's going to have iron sights, and you're going to have to fight that, or you can modernize it a bit with drilling and tapping it, and now it's not quite original. Or you can leave it original.
I'm willing to go with that.
Yeah. Or you can go keep it the way it is and enjoy it the way it is, and then go get you another rifle that's already set up for scopes.
Yeah, I've got a 339 Marlin that is. It ain't got the range of that 7, but it's a nice gun. And
it is, but it's not going to do what a 7mm or 7.57 can do. You're not going to be shooting out at 300 or 400 yards with it. That's for sure. Well, and this is another one of those situations, Marty, where you got to make the call on it. You know what's involved, and like I say, bending a bolt and getting a drill and tapped and all of that. It might be better just to leave it original, enjoy the fact that you've got original, and if you want to, just go get you another bolt-action rifle. Take care of that. Hey, Marty, I appreciate the call, sir. I got to take a break here. When we come back, we got some more after show. We got Jim, we got Tom, we got Tom. We're having a bunch of fun. Be right back.
Fans of Slip 2000 EWL gun lubricant will want to try EWL 30 this summer. The thicker EWL 30 sits up, migrates less, stays wetter longer, and will not dry out. Perfect for long-term storage. It also holds up better in hotter conditions while still providing the excellent high round count performance you have come to expect from the original EWL. Slip 2000. We're all about gun care. Learn more at slip2000.com.
All right, we're back. It's Jim and Tom and me. Tom, we're having a bunch of fun here.
I feel outnumbered today. I've been out-timed.
Yeah, you've been out-timed. Exactly right. Jim, you had asked me about the sticky holster before, and you said some people have been asking you about it, huh?
Yeah, I've got, for some reason, I'm the go-to gun guy with all my friends. And it's like, I don't know.
Figure.
I've never I wonder why. I've never played with one. I can't give you an opinion. I mean, the idea sounds cool, but until I physically do it myself, I mean, I can take recommendations from folks like anybody else, but before I really give a recommendation, it's going to be something I've used, so I want to know.
I thought you were going somewhere else, so he said, before I really give a... And I went, what? Oh, wait, recommendation. Oh, well, that's the after show. You can say anything you want to.
Yeah. I can always get rid of myself.
A rat's patootie. There you go.
That's right.
And you can explain to me then what a sticky holster is.
Yes, Tom, go for it.
Okay, a sticky holster. You're familiar with soft neoprene like used in wetsuits?
Sure.
If you were to take that material, roughly that material, not exactly, but pretty much, and then just sew, in essence, a pouch that a gun can go in, that's kind of what you've got. You slip the gun in it, and then you put the whole thing, the sticky holster and the gun into, depending on the size of the gun, into a pocket. Or I've been testing it, using it just as inside the waistband. You basically just literally loosen your pants, your belt, slide it in where you want to go, and then tighten your belt. and the gun just sticks there because this thing is sticky. Now, you cannot reholster the gun when it's in that position. You have to take the sticky holster, the little pouch holster, out from where it is. But that's the same way with any sleeve pocket holster, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, and reholstering is really important. A lot of people think, well, what does it matter? I'm only going to need to pull it out. Well, no. So it is a consideration, but you're going to have compromise with any holster. That's why we have 100 holsters.
Exactly. That's kind of, at first I thought, well, I can't really reholster. You go, well, okay. When you need to do something with it, just stick the gun in your pocket, for heaven's sakes. If the police are coming, and put it down on the ground and get your hands up, if you've had to do that or whatever. But right now, I mean, I've only tried it 2 days. Tried it yesterday and today. So I'm very new into it. The reason I tried it, frankly, I'd heard about it, but Dave Spalding, a friend of mine, and he was the law enforcement trainer of the year a few years back, he wrote something about it and said, hey, somebody told him about it. And he thought it was like, okay, it's another one of those dumb ideas. But he tried it, and he goes, there's an application for this. So I went, okay, if Dave tried it and thought so, I'll try it. We'll see. I'm only 2 days in, so you can't base anything on that. But I can see a use for it. I mean, it's not going to replace my everyday carry, but I can see there some times when it'd be nice. It is thin. That's the one thing about it. You don't have any of the bulk that you have with regular holsters. Right. I mean, it's real thin.
So is it kind of like is it kind of like a cross between neoprene and spandex?
It's very much like the spandex I usually wear, Jim.
Thanks for that visual.
Okay, eye bleach. Okay,
lycra.
Okay.
Let's say lycra spandex.
Yeah, there you go. No, it's more like neoprene. It's just pretty much like a neoprene thing. Let me.
Show it to me.
I can't get it.
Show it to me.
Well, I was going to, but you know what? It's sticky. I can't get it out of there. Okay, there it is.
Nice.
Darn sticky gun. Okay, let's see. All right, this gun is hot, so we're going to be careful with that. It is, well, okay, let's look. On the inside, it's got non-sticky nylon on the inside, so the gun slides in and out easily.
Okay.
On the outside, it's just kind of a neoprene-ish cover. And, I mean, it doesn't look like much. It doesn't cost a lot. You do need to get the right size for your gun. I did not spec it out for this particular pistol, but I tried it, and it worked. And so this is the Glock 42 with a Crimson Trace laser grip on it.
So are there, 6 or 7 sizes that fit several guns, or is it?
Yeah, that's about it.
It's not a molded
something like
deal.
that. So you get,
right.
No, so you'd say, okay, I'm going to get the one that will hold an XDS, a Glock 43, or a Shield type of thing. Or, the next model up would hold a this, and this.
Right,
kind
gotcha.
of a situation.
Semi-universal.
So, semi-universal, that's right. It's inclusive, but not really.
Mostly inclusive.
It's like you could be part of my club, but not all of you. So there you go. It's just the next thing. It's like our caller. He says he's tried the Bianchi, and he really liked that. There are, I guess maybe the cost of entry into making holsters is pretty low. There are a lot of holster makers, aren't there?
Oh, man, yeah. And that in the past. Well, it used to be, 20 years ago, there were several big names, but there's everybody and their brothers making them now, and there's kits you can buy to make your own in your oven, and it's blossomed. It's a cottage kind of deal.
Well, think about it. 20 years ago, how many people were carrying? Not a lot.
Right. And not a lot of women, and that's changed.
Well, that's for sure.
Thank goodness.
Who was I talking to? One of the women, actually, we had a couple of women come in and be on First Person Defender this week. And we were talking about carry, and women have a much more difficult problem with carry because guys can wear their shirts out and look sloppy. Women generally are not going to, don't want to, don't blame them. And they're, vive la difference, but their bodies are different. So they have to have a different solution.
Now, could a woman use a sticky holster?
Oh, yeah. I think a woman could absolutely use a sticky holster and a smallish gun and do IWB with it inside the waistband, something like that, or appendix carry, and just a shirt that's out, because you can wear the gun fairly low in your waistline with just, enough of the grip out so you can get a decent grip. Your trigger finger, your index finger, is going to stay on the outside of your pant line, your belt line, if you will.
Gotcha.
And then you get a good grip on it with your other fingers and pull it out and keep your fingers straight along the frame as it comes out. I think it might be a decent solution, or an option, not a solution, an option for women. And again, it's like I say, I love the alien gear. I love the crossbreed. I love that design. I also like my Comtech and my Blade Techs and my Milt Sparks old leather holsters, which are great. That's why I've got a box of these, or maybe I probably have 3 boxes of them, the truth be told.
Well, there's really no one standard rig that's going to work for everybody in every situation. And I think a lot of people in their mind like, well, I have a gun, I'll get a holster, and I'll be done. No.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, when we're doing the FPD, we find out people who haven't thought about it much. It shows so fast because they are overwhelmed. When the action starts, it's like they just don't know what to do. And then we had this fellow, I mentioned Tim, who had been to Tiger McKee's class a number of times.
Right.
There was nothing we could find that he did wrong. And in 4 years of doing this, we've never had anybody that we couldn't say, okay, well, here's where you screwed up, or here's what happened. We're going, okay, you didn't really do anything wrong, but let me show you something else you might want to know. It's about all we could come up with,
I was just going to ask you how you ended that show.
Yeah, you just kind of go, well, look, here's a thing you may not have seen. I don't know.
Hey, Tim, great job. We're going to have to edit everything out. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to make you look like a fool. I'm sorry.
Just change the audio.
Oh, okay. You guys will love this. We got this one scenario in a convenience store, and they got this woman, and she's the good guy, and she's, and there's probably 8 people inside this smallish room that's all dressed out to look like a convenience store. And people are moving around. We got a clerk, and people are checking out and all, and we've got this display, and it's got like rubber balls in it. And I'm one of the role players. And I just took this rubber ball and was facing away from her, and I'm, 10 feet away. I just flip it over my shoulder just to kind of add to the confusion of the whole thing. It hits the ground, bounces up, goes right in front of her, and in the middle of this whole thing, she just reaches out with both hands and catches this ball as it goes by, and just as she does, somebody gets shot. It's like all of her attention is focused on this ball, and she's thinking, why am I holding this ball? How did this ball get here?
Yeah.
Bang! It's like it was the perfect distraction to pull her out of the I'm in a scenario deal. And now, I've got to get re-engaged because you're real life, you're going to be behind the curve on reacting to this stuff.
Perfect distraction. You were playing with the ball and you just wanted to trying to use it as an excuse.
She wouldn't throw it back to me. Come on, when somebody throws you a ball, you're supposed to throw it back, right? Come on.
Just courtesy, really.
But what does she do? No, she drops the ball and shoots somebody. I went, that was rude. So I got nailed, man. I got a mark. Let me see. Yeah, it's still there, right in the stomach.
Did you deserve it?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I worked hard on it. I was charging this guy. We had another guy with a gun charging him, and he got shot. And I just kind of happened to be the guy who was running at our good guy at the same time, and filed that one under. It sucks to be me,
Oh.
And
yeah, they hurt, don't they?
Lyle, oh man, they leave a mark, and it was there for like probably be gone tomorrow. But yeah, Lyle, our good guy, came in from St. Louis. Dude is 6'7".
Big boy.
And yeah, we're trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to do with this guy? I mean, he can pretty much pick up all the other people and just walk off with them if he wants to. And so we had this, one little lady next to him. She weighs like 110 pounds. She's 5'3". Said, okay, that's not a good matchup. That's not going to work. Oh, you'll love this. So what did we do for a scenario? We gave him Israeli carry. No round in the chamber. Because people talk about doing that,
Ugh.
So we had that. And then when it went down, we had this other woman who's stronger. Actually, it's Michelle Sereno, who's pretty athletic. And when she was playing a role, and she reached around and grabbed his off hand and was holding on to it and screaming, help me, help me, help me. So he couldn't rack the gun with that hand. Except that he just racked the gun with that hand and drug her around. It was like, is there something on me? I don't know. I wasn't sure about that.
You're talking about simunitions and how they hurt, right? You could actually start like as a new, kind of like a dunk tank concept. You put your boss up on this pedestal and everybody gets to take a pot shot at him.
Yeah, the simunitions folks are pretty darn careful about who they will license to.
Yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't see the humor in that.
We had to go through training to get certified to be simunitions instructors
Right.
before we could even get access to it. It's pretty much for military and law enforcement, but now there are some shooting ranges that have it available, and you can do force-on-force training. Okay, you guys will get this. Imagine you have a system where you can shoot a Glock. So there's a simulations kit for a Glock. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to point this gun at people and pull the trigger. If that doesn't make you sweat bullets, I don't know what would, because you had better have a safety protocol that is second to none in terms of, everybody got patted down. If you left the building, you went to your car, and you came back, you got patted down again. No knives, no pins, no guns, no ammo, no anything on you if you're anywhere in the area or in the building where the scenario is taking place. It's one of those, you have to be insanely conscientious about it.
Yeah, you can't be too careful. With firearms in general, especially in situations like that where you...
Yeah, especially when you're pointing guns at people and pulling triggers. Yes.
Yeah, you're doing things you always preach people never to do.
Exactly. Good point, Tom. That's exactly what it's...
Yeah, how do you get over that?
All right, you guys, never do this. Except right now, I want you to do this.
Well, how do you get over that?
It feel unnatural.
Yeah, because it reminds me of a karate thing. First time I got beat up in a controlled environment was by a woman, and she just pounded on me.
That was yesterday.
Right. That was, it was this morning. Yeah. Seriously,
bag lady.
It was I was a yellow belt or something. This brown belt was sparring with me, and she'd hit me like 6 times and say, "Okay, you might want to try to block one of those." And then she'd give me some techniques, and she's like, "Okay, now when you block,
or you could just sit there and bleed."
Yeah. So she said, "Okay, now that you've kind of got a concept of not getting hit and what that's like, every time I throw this punch or kick, I'm vulnerable here. You could actually counterpunch me." And actually fight me. I'm like, but you're a woman. I wasn't raised to hit women.
Okay, would you like me to beat up on you some more until you get the point?
No, she just said, okay, then I'm a woman. And she beat me up. But it was hard. And even now, when I spar with a woman, I can't go 100%, unless I guess I'm getting
I know.
Oh, it's like saying you don't have guns. Oh, you're defenseless? Smack.
I mean, how do you get over that in simunitions? I mean, to actually point a gun at a loved one, a friend, a colleague, and do that what's totally against what you trained.
Well, when somebody comes at you and tries to cut your head off with a knife, a simulated knife, or goes at you with a baseball bat, all bets are off. And, of course, you have programmed yourself at that point. You've got all this protective gear on. You got helmet and face mask and the whole deal. And
I bet you that's great Louisiana weather.
Yeah. Oh, it's fabulous. Heat index was 112.
Oh, my God.
And, did I mention you have to wear long sleeves for the protection?
Ugh.
So we're wearing sweatshirts and then another shirt on top of that and a helmet and gloves. Oh, yeah, and the groin protector. It was, okay. We're going to lose somebody just from heat exhaustion out here.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Have you thought about filming up north?
Yeah, Michigan's got some good tax breaks.
Baton Rouge is further north than where I am. That's where we went. That wasn't far enough?
I don't know. Not if you got sweaty groin protectors. I think it'd be worth the drive.
At the end of the shoot, we all looked at each other and said, okay, next year, not before October 1st.
There you go. Brilliant.
We're moving it back. Not that it can't be warm, but it's not going to be 110 heat index.
That humidity's got to kill you.
But we were very fortunate. We had Barrett Kendrick, who runs a local training facility called Bearco. If anybody's in the North Shore area of Louisiana, I recommend Barrett. He's a good trainer. North Shore being Mandeville, Covington area, north of New Orleans. Worth the drive. And he actually runs simulations. So people always say, where can I go to get this kind of training? Well, poke around and look, but Bearco, B-E-A-R-C-O, Bearco, Barrett offers simulations training. So that stuff is so valuable. People come away with that whole deal of, I never thought of that. I never, and we only had one guy who kind of didn't really get it. He wasn't, every once in a while you have somebody just not plugged in. Mm-hmm. Competition shooter, but no background in self-defense or training like that. And Jim, it's a mindset thing. That's when you're doing your karate and all that. You got to get your head into the right place, don't you?
Yeah, because you find out real quick when you don't, when you're distracted, you got your mind on, got a mortgage payment, I got this, that, and then you get blindsided. You go, wow, if I'd have been paying attention, I might have been able to avoid that pain.
Yeah, that big guy who was coming around the corner with a baseball bat and screaming, I'm going to kill you, that might have been a clue.
What tipped you off?
Yeah, what tipped you off there? Well, the fact that he dropped this other guy like a bad habit, and he's on the ground. And we got all kind of cool, fake knives and rubber baseball bats and stuff we use. And we go, okay, you're using a baseball bat where the guy's mad, he's whacking the table and all that, and just going off on people. And go, well, why didn't you shoot him? I said, well, he didn't hit anybody else, and he didn't come at me. Good call.
Yeah. It sounds like Clue a little bit. There's a big guy with a baseball bat in the parlor.
in the library, Colonel somebody with the lead pipe,
Well, you just don't know. I mean, that's why you do those, because you never know. If you knew where the situation was going to go down and is about to go down, I would like to think you'd be smart enough to get the hell out of there.
Well, what we find is that when people start out, they're really not good at problem solving. They lock up and they can't think about what they're supposed to do. And then we say, okay, what if when this thing started happening, instead of standing there in the middle of this action, you moved back to the wall and then you started working your way along the wall and you moved your way over into the corner where nobody could sneak up behind you. And while you're doing all of that, you could actually see what's going on. Maybe you don't have to get involved.
Maybe there's an exit door back there, yeah.
Maybe there's a door, Oh, yeah. But, until you do this stuff, you don't know this stuff.
And that, I would say, would really, because let's say you took the best person you had there, minus Tim, because he's a pro. Best person you had that learned quick and, big learning curve, but they picked up on it. If they don't do it for 3-4 years and they're put in that situation again, that training is going to be little, if any, help. You need to recurring training and sharpen up.
If you can go back and do it once a year and kind of get yourself tuned up, and you can go, and there are a lot of places that teach this stuff. You don't have to have simunitions. There are places that will do it live fire where you're shooting and moving back to cover. That's a good thing to do. You need to be able to shoot and move at the same time. Oh, yeah, and you have to be able to hit what you're aiming at while you're moving. You need to be able to move backwards. You need to be able to move forward. You need to be able to move sideways. You need to be able to shoot from the ground. Talking laying on the ground, on your back, on your side.
And a little tip for folks that are practicing this. When you're laying on your back, don't shoot your feet.
Or your knees. Yeah. When you lay on your back and you got your knees up, they're kind of in the way.
Yeah.
You might want to stick your legs out all the way and then rotate your toes outward so there's nothing much sticking up. And do a little bit of a crunch, or you pick your body up a little bit and you can shoot that way. Best if you try this for real at the range with an instructor before you try it another place where you're making new holes in your anatomy.
Yeah, and you definitely want the instructor there, because if you just rent range time and go lay on the floor, they may have a little concern.
That may be your last time at that range.
Right.
Yeah, really. But here's a place where having an airsoft gun could be really helpful. What if you did that? You got an airsoft gun that's like your gun, and you practice this stuff laying on the ground, laying on your back, rolling over. Can I get down on the ground and can I get back up with my finger not on the trigger and with the gun still pointing in a safe direction? Well, you can, but it'd be good to practice getting up and down 10 times like that. And with an airsoft, all you might do is frighten the cat or something if it goes off.
And obviously the recoils are not going to be, I think that's, I just cut you off, Tom. That's what you're about to say.
So you also get to go home with all your toes.
Right.
Always a good thing, or mostly.
It's better than going home with somebody else's toes, I would think.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Little Dahmer humor. No way. Nice. Okay.
But yeah, it's just stuff we don't think about, but you can get it from the training. Well, or, what you could do? You can also watch First Person Offender, and it's free. For those who don't know, you can watch FPD on YouTube, now on Roku, and on Amazon Fire, and loading it to Apple TV now. Woo-hoo. So lots of ways to get it.
Woo-hoo.
Cool.
I have a deal.
Yeah, we're having fun.
In closing, I'll tell you real quick. A buddy of mine, actually he's a cardiologist, has been approved, I guess, to be a regional tactics training guy for a company that's out of Illinois. And he, to brushing up his teaching chops, etc., he's offered 4 of us to take his tactical defense class as guinea pigs. So I get it free tactical class as a guinea pig to help him hone his teaching skills. So how cool is that?
Well, that's cool. What's
cool.
it going to entail?
Kind of the stuff you're talking about, run it, move and shoot and everything else. He stresses more, because he's a doctor, he stresses more, okay, that you've been involved in a shooting, let's cover the medical side of it. That's what he brings to this company. That's what their interest is in him. But they've, you can check them out. They're called Pulse. They're out of Illinois, if you have any interest.
Now, when you say that you're involved in a shoot, now the medical side, what's the medical side?
Well, how to properly apply a tourniquet, basic stuff like that, where somebody's been hurt. I mean, you can save a life. So
it's basically trauma medicine as well.
That's what he brings to it, yes. But what their training is full all-out tactics. It's military guys, LEO. So they're kind of broadening their company by bringing him in with the medical side, and he gets the advantage of learning all their other stuff that their modules have. So it's pretty neat. I'm just in the infancy of it.
That's very cool. You're going to enjoy that. I had a thought. I want to pass this along to people because I see this mistake being made all the time on FPD. We do the scenario, they shoot, bad guy goes down, right? And then we don't call the action. We just still watch and see what happens. And about half the time, they walk over to the bad guy and they want to kick the gun away. And I guess it's something they've seen on TV.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not
movies,
sure what's going on. No. Move backwards, get to a place of cover where you can still see this guy, keep the gun on him, call 911. Not your job to try to put a tourniquet on this guy.
Correct.
Or get the gun. If he goes for the gun, it's really easy. You just shoot him again. Because if you walk over there next to him, if he's not shot as well as you think he's shot, maybe he gets your ankle, and now we're in for a whole different kind of rodeo.
Right. Yeah,
it's just kind of one of those deals.
Yeah, the medical thing I was referring to is you're with somebody and they get hurt, obviously.
I like that. See, I want to take one of those classes. Yeah, I want to take a class like that because it's tourniquets, it's airway, it's bleeding and that kind of stuff, because not only useful for tactical, but car wrecks or whatever.
Well, exactly. It's very broad. I'll give him your contact info. I think you might like this guy.
Yeah, sounds interesting. I cannot wait for you to give us the range report on that one.
Sweet.
Good deal. All right, guys, well, you have a great week. I'm going to be not standing in the 112-degree heat all this week, thank goodness.
The weird thing is he's still going to be wearing the groin protector, and that concerns me a little.
It's a new look for me. It's actually a form of there's a stick. No, never mind. It's a way of concealed carry.
Psychopath in aisle 6. Psychopath in aisle 6.
With that crazy dude with this clown outfit that they're talking about in the news. I don't know if you see that.
No.
What was that? Some dude walking around the neighborhood in a clown outfit like at 2 or 3 in the morning, and people are calling it in. You think? There just are certain behaviors that you might want to think through before you go with this. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
When you think, okay, how's this going to look on the news?
What was he doing, out of curiosity?
I'm not sure. I just caught a little bit of the deal that people are calling in a creepy clown dude. Of course, some people think that all clowns are creepy, but he's some kind of creepy clown dude. But he was out in the neighborhoods. He had his face painted, and it's like, really? I mean, and this could have been, I don't know, like a clowning while intoxicated. I don't know. Who knows? It's CWI.
Nice. Yeah, he had a big red nose. He was drinking for a while. His nose was really red.
Yeah, he lost his costume nose. He had to, kind of adapt.
Do what you got to do.
There you go. All right, guys, well, be safe.
You too, buddy. You too.
All right, take care. See you.
Tell your friends about the Gun Talk After Show, a more informal setting featuring Tom, Michelle, and Jim commenting on topics that are important to you. Available on iTunes and other podcatchers, and the Gun Dealio smartphone app for iPhone and Android.